Okay, so that botched. I botched it again. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. But, it's only day 82. It's early days for me to figure this stuff out. All right, so now we just wait for people to try and find me. So, only 2 people here now. Turn that off. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's all gone to pot here. Quit that. Quit that. And now we just wait, people. We just wait for people to try and find me, because I like to play a bit of hide and seek sometimes in Bible Hour. I put links up here, but then I reappear over here. Here I am. People, can you hear me? So, I mean, Neil would say user error. But I think in this instance, I'm willing to blame Sky Internet for the dropout of connection then. North Star, yeah, good to hear it went well. Also, the Malawian elections went well in that they actually appointed a Christian, like an ex-pastor. So a Christian pastor is now their, whatever it is, prime minister, president. Yeah, whatever. Welcome on into the Bible Hour. It's starting late today because of Sky Internet, I think. Let's put that there like that. Close that there. Or is it because I'm playing SimCity live on air as well at the same time on my other screen by there? All right, in 2 minutes, we will wait for the people to find our new links. I'm hoping Ricky Bad Boy B as admin is A, here, and B, has pasted the new links on Twitter and Facebook. I hope he's working hard out there, wherever he is. Chris Henry back in the house. Tricky B. All right, now then, here we go. So, Proverbs chapter 8, before I start reading it, my article on the Weekly Rag is going to be on this. So, we in Park End say the Nicene Creed. The Nicene Creed came from Proverbs 8, verse 22, because there's a dispute over it. So what I think I'll do is, I think we'll read Proverbs 8, 22. No, we'll read all of Proverbs 8. Then we can jump into Arius versus Athanasius and Father Christmas as well. We'll get there in a bit. Here we go. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Proverbs 8. And if you want to know about Proverbs and how we approach it, tune into yesterday's stream. Listen as wisdom calls out. Hear as understanding raises her voice. On the hilltop along the road, she takes her stand at the crossroads. By the gates at the entrance to the town, on the long road leading in, she cries aloud, I call to you, to all of you. I raise my voice to all people. You simple people, use good judgment. You foolish people, show some understanding. Listen to me, for I have important things to tell you. Everything I say is right. For I speak the truth and detest every kind of deception. My advice is wholesome. There is nothing devious or crooked in it. My words are plain to anyone with understanding, clear to those with knowledge. Choose my instruction rather than silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold. For wisdom is far more valuable than rubies. Nothing you desired can compare with it. I, wisdom, live together with good judgment. I know where to discover knowledge and discernment. All who fear the Lord will hate evil. Therefore, I hate pride and arrogance, corruption and perverse speech. Common sense and success belong to me. Insight and strength are mine. Because of me, kings reign and rulers make just decrees. Rulers lead with my help, and nobles make righteous judgments. This is a great verse, verse 17. I love all who love me. Those who search will surely find me. Literally, how many times does Jesus say that about himself? I have riches and honor, as well as enduring wealth and justice. My gifts are better than gold, even the purest gold. My wages better than sterling silver. I walk in righteousness, in paths of justice. Those who love me inherit wealth. I will fill their treasuries. The Lord formed me from the beginning, before he created anything else. I was appointed in ages past at the very first, before the earth began. I was born before the oceans were created, before the springs bubbled forth their waters, before the mountains were formed, before the hills I was born. Before he had made the earth and fields and the first handfuls of soil, I was there. When he established the heavens, when he drew the horizon on the oceans. Whoa. Stop Googling how to join the Jehovah's Witness Church. Just hold on until the end of the chapter. I was there when he set the clouds above, when he established springs deep in the earth. I was there when he set the limits of the seas, so they would not spread beyond their boundaries. And when he marked off the earth's foundations, I was the architect at his side. I was his constant delight, rejoicing always in his presence. And how happy I was with the world he created, how I rejoiced with human families. And so, my children, listen to me. For all who follow my ways are joyful. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Don't ignore it. Joyful are those who listen to me, watching for me daily at my gates, waiting for me outside my home. For whoever finds me finds life and receives favor from the Lord. But those who miss me injure themselves. All who hate me love. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just read one of the spiciest chapters in Spicendom. The India Gate cannot serve a dish as spicy as that. So we've been arguing from the start that the wisdom is Jesus. You can tune into yesterday to see how and why. So the Nicene Creed, and I'm just going to labor this point in a minute, and then I'm going to send it in written form as well. That is my new favorite, says Chris Henry. Verse 17 onwards. Verse 17 is a belter. You're right there. Anyway, so in a nutshell, there are thousands of books written on this. That, again, if you want pithy little statements, summaries, the book by book's good. I'll quote that in a bit. So the Nicene Creed, 325, when the together and just enshrined in a statement of faith what Christians have always believed and what the Bible is about and what it says about Jesus. The reason they did that is because of Arius, an old church leader, saying that Proverbs 8:22 says Jesus was made. Therefore, it's not Trinitarian religion. There's one God. Jesus is a divine but created being. He had a beginning. Let me just reread 22 again. And we do need to pay attention to this because there's tons of religions that still say that today. Any Unitarian religion still argues that. JWs, they knock your door. Jesus is a divine creature, but he was created. The Lord formed me from the beginning before he created anything else. I was appointed in ages past at the very first, before the earth began. But Athanasius rocked up, the Bishop of Alexandria, and was like, shut up, Arius. Shut up. And they had a little, a conference, and Father Christmas was there, St. Nick, and he actually punched Arius in the face. So I'm not having it. Any parent that ever tries to say that horrid thing about Father Christmas, that he perhaps doesn't, you know what, in case there's any children listening, it's nonsense, because he does exist. And he was even at the First Council of Nicaea, and he punched a heretic in the face. So, Athanasius argued, no, my friend. Verse 22 is about the beginning of the work of salvation by Jesus, the Son, not his origin. So now let's think about this through the eyes of correct theology. It is saying this: the Lord brought forth wisdom, and I'm quoting from one of the books here, because it says it in a quicker way than I do, if I stop talking about it and just say it. The Lord brought forth wisdom as the very first of his works. Wisdom was already with him from all eternity, which Proverbs has already gone out and labored 1,000 times. But the presentation of wisdom, or the craftsman of creation that we've been reading about, was the very first work before the Lord Father did anything else. In other words, before the Father could do anything, could create, reveal, or redeem, he had to bring forth his eternal Son, the one who accomplishes all his will in the power of the Spirit. That's exactly what John chapter 1 says. Everything that's being created is created through Jesus, the Word of God. So Proverbs 8 explains how this eternal divine craftsman was presented to create and order the oceans, mountains, hills, boundaries, beaches, foundations of all creation. All the order and structure of the heavens and the earth was given by Jesus, the craftsman of all creation. And Athanasius argued for the deity of Jesus from Proverbs chapter 8. Now, go through Christian theology, through history. Bible teachers often bring up this theme of the Son being eternally born from the Father. And other statements like, today I have begotten you. It means that the Son was not born at one moment in time, but that he was always being born of the Father with new life. So if you look at Psalm 2, Acts 13, it uses that term speaking of the resurrection. If you look at Hebrews 1 and Hebrews 5, it talks how the Father uses that as his relationship with Jesus before the angels, and Jesus becoming the great high priest, eternally born for that role now, presented, begotten. So just as the Son is born of the Father in his human birth, in his baptism, and in his resurrection, and his ascension, so the Son is born of the Father in all eternity, and in the work of creation, as described there in Proverbs 8. It's as if the Son's relationship to the Father is constantly new, eternally fresh, always springing into life from eternity past, in creation, in revelation, in redemption, and onwards into our eternal future. And that is a shorthand summary of why we have the Nicene Creed, which is all about the deity of Jesus, and why Proverbs 8 is a belter, and why it's now Chris Henry's favorite chapter in the Bible. Let's move on, huh? Let's get this ship rolling, man. Welcome on in, Unitarians. But it's time to meet the Trinitarian God. Proverbs 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has carved its 7 columns. She has prepared a great banquet, mixed the wines, and set the table. She has sent her servants to invite everyone to come. She calls out from the heights overlooking the city, "Come in with me!" She urges the simple. To those who lack good judgment, she says, "Come, eat my food and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways behind and begin to live. Learn to use good judgment." Anyone who rebukes a mocker will get an insult in return. Anyone who corrects the wicked will get hurt. So don't bother correcting mockers, they will only hate you. But correct the wise, and they will love you. Instruct the wise, and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous, and they will learn even more. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One results in good judgment. Wisdom will multiply your days and add years to your life. You will become wise. You will be the one to benefit. If you scorn wisdom, you will be the one to suffer. Obviously, Jesus makes the simple wise. Oh, I'm worried about the future. Talk to Jesus. He'll tell you the plans of the Father. He'll show you the beginning from the end. He'll tell you to rest in him. He'll tell you why bad things happen. It's all there in Jesus. It's all there in his word. It's all there in church. The woman named Folly is brash. She is ignorant and doesn't know it. She sits in her doorway on the heights overlooking the city. She calls out to men going by who are minding their own business. "Come in with me," she urges the simple. To those who lack good judgment, she says, "Stolen water is refreshing. Food eaten in secret tastes best." But little do they know that the dead are there. Her guests are in the depths of the grave. It's 9:20. Welcome on into the Bible Hour. If you're just trundling in, if you went to the other link, my bad. I broke it and I started a new one. So welcome on in. We are reading Proverbs, and we have reached Proverbs chapter 10. Chapter 10, as some of you will know, is a turning point from the teaching of David to his son Solomon, which has always been about Jesus. It's now replaced with the first set of Solomon's short proverbs. So both David and Solomon have been involved in this book. Obvious change of style going forward. We're now leaving Jesus creating like the universe, and now we're dealing with specific illustrations of how to be wise, and that Jesus basically affects every aspect of our lives. Yeah, and okay, let's read 10. A wise child brings joy to a father. A foolish child brings grief to a mother. Tainted wealth has no lasting value, but right living can save your life. The Lord will not let the godly go hungry, but he refuses to satisfy the craving of the wicked. Lazy people are soon poor. Hard workers get rich. Oops, I got it wrong in my intro, but that's on the old feed, so it's gone now. I don't know what you said, Ricky B, but maybe Solomon wrote the whole thing, but I think it was, I mean, yeah, I think now this is more Solomon. But, you know, you're not going to be sacked as admin for it, Ricky B, because I've heard a case that you are the best at. I've heard that. A wise youth harvests in the summer, but one who sleeps during harvest is a disgrace. The godly are showered with blessings. The words of the wicked conceal violent intentions. We have happy memories of the godly, but the name of a wicked person rots away. The wise are glad to be instructed, but babbling fools fall flat on their faces. Do you know, Jesus talks about our words. We'll have to give an account on the last day for our vain words or ill-spoken words. I mean, pretty much, it's probably better to shut up and only speak when there's a time for it than babble on nonsense constantly. People with integrity walk safely, but those who follow crooked paths will be exposed. People who wink at wrong cause trouble, but the bold reproof promotes peace. The words of the godly are a life-giving fountain. The words of the wicked conceal violent intentions. Hatred stirs up quarrels, but love makes up for all offenses. Wise words come from the lips of people with understanding, but those lacking sense will be beaten with a rod. Wise people treasure knowledge, but the babbling of a fool invites disaster. The wealth of the rich is their fortress. The poverty of the poor is their destruction. The earnings of the godly enhance their lives, but evil people squander their money on sin. People who accept discipline are on the pathway to life, but those who ignore correction will go astray. Hiding hatred makes you a liar. Slandering others makes you a fool. Jesus says, doesn't he? Out from the heart flow all manner of evil things. Backbiting, hatred, murderous speech, slander, gossip, character assassination. It's the heart bubbling forth where we should be exercising praise, which melts the heart. Too much talk leads to sin, but be sensible and keep your mouth shut. The words of the godly are like sterling silver. The heart of a fool is worthless. The words of the godly encourage many, but fools are destroyed by their lack of common sense. The blessing of the Lord makes a person rich. He adds no sorrow with it. Doing wrong is fun for a fool, but living wisely brings pleasure to the sensible. The fears of the wicked will be fulfilled. The hopes of the godly will be granted. When the storms of life come, the wicked are whirled away, but the godly have a lasting foundation. Lazy people irritate their employers like vinegar to the teeth or smoke in the eyes. Fear of the Lord lengthens one's life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. The hopes of the godly result in happiness, but the expectation of the wicked come to nothing. The way of the Lord is a stronghold to those with integrity, but it destroys the wicked. The godly will never be disturbed, but the wicked will be removed from the land. The mouth of the godly person gives wise advice, but the tongue that deceives will be cut off. The lips of the godly speak helpful words, but the mouth of the wicked speaks perverse words. I mean, how many times did Jesus say that exact same sermon? Park End Church admin, could you please post Romans chapter 10, verse 9? In the NIV, maybe? The reason that words can be so harmful is because, and James, the book of James gets into this, is because if the heart is out of sync with Jesus and words are just like an engine non-stop, the stuff that comes out can be quite destructive indeed. But the heart for Jesus and church, you know, clean humor, that's mentioned in the Bible, decent speech, not smutty, loving, caring, disciplining sometimes, harsh words sometimes. If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Yeah, so words are such a powerful statement of our hearts. It's quite searching stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, after a botched start, but it's early days, it's only day 82, man. Give me a break. I'm still learning. We've reached the halfway mark. We've got it. Proverbs chapter 11. So take 82 seconds. Take 28 if you're dyslexic. Come back with a yogurt. And then we'll carry on with Proverbs chapter 11. Kurt Park and Amin also now. Copy but don't paste. Luke chapter 16 verse 10, please. I hope you had a nice day and you weren't too hot. Hope your day's been profitable. God willing, we'll be looking at Elijah on Sunday. One Kings 19. Jesus in action in 1 Kings 19. That's me gone then, says Sue Roberts. All my speech. No, I think that would be a misapplication. What we don't want is out from the hearth. Murderous, slanderous, wicked speech. Jesus-hating, church-hating speech. We will re-begin in 11 seconds. Proverbs chapter 11, let's see. Personal stuff. The Lord detests the use of dishonest scales, but he delights in accurate weights. By the way, McDonald in the house. It's happening, McDonald, and it's great that our prayers are answered for your country. And you seem to have a Christian leader. So, Bible Hour, keep praying for Malawi. But he delights in accurate weights. Pride leads to disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Honesty guides good people. Dishonesty destroys treacherous people. Riches won't help on the day of judgment, but right living can save you from death. The godly are directed by honesty. The wicked fall beneath their load of sin. The godliness of good people rescues them. The ambition of treacherous people traps them. When the wicked die, their hopes die with them, for they rely on their own feeble strength. That's quite something, isn't it? When the wicked die, their hopes die with them. It's like they've got nothing else but just horizontal gain, where we could have had vertical. The godly are and it's interesting, when you get the vertical gain, everything on the horizontal seems better too, even though it can be tough. The godly are rescued from trouble, and it falls on the wicked instead. With their words, the godless destroy their friends, but knowledge will rescue the righteous. The whole city celebrates when the godly succeed. They shout for joy when the wicked die. Upright citizens are good for a city and make it prosper, but the talk of the wicked tears it apart. It is foolish to belittle one's neighbor. A sensible person keeps quiet. A gossip goes around telling secrets, but those who are trustworthy can keep a confidence. Excuse me. Without wise leadership, a nation falls. There is safety in having many advisors. Remember now, this isn't a self-help guide. This is first and foremost showing the glory of Jesus and what he is like as a friend, but also what life in him looks like. So basically, church members, now that we're part of the life of God, are free now to start doing this stuff. It's quite the privilege. There's danger in putting up security for a stranger's debt. It's safer not to guarantee another person. A gracious woman gains respect, but ruthless men gain only wealth. Your kindness will reward you, but your cruelty will destroy you. Isn't that powerful? Wowee, I'm going to cut that. Not cut it as in get it out of the Bible. Cut it and paste it in my little note file. That's powerful, isn't it? Because I'm a parent and a church member, I think. Your kindness will reward you, but your cruelty will destroy you. Yeesh. Evil people get rich for the moment, but the reward of the godly will last. Godly people find life. Evil people find death. The Lord detests people with crooked hearts, but he delights in those with integrity. That's one of the many times in the Bible that God actually detests people, which is why I said before, be careful with that saying, he loves the sinner and hates the sin, which is sort of true, but also sometimes he full on just unleashes on the evil person who hates him. And it's a non-sinful hatred. Evil people will surely be punished, but the children of the godly will go free. A beautiful woman who lacks discretion is like a gold ring in a pig's snout. I actually think I know this off by heart in the King James Version. Like a gold ring in a swine's snout, so is the woman who lacks discretion. Park N admin. I haven't read that in the KJV for probably over 15 years. But is that how it words it? Like a gold ring in a swine's snout, so is the woman who lacks discretion. What a one to stick in your head. The godly can look forward to a reward, while the wicked can expect only judgment. Again, judgment, not a New Testament concept. Everlasting death, hell, not imagined by the early church fathers, is right here. It's to be avoided. Give freely and become more wealthy. Be stingy and lose everything. The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. People curse those who hoard their grain, but they bless the one who sells in time of need. If you search for good, you will find favor, but if you search for evil, it will find you. Trust in your money and down you go. But the godly flourish like leaves in spring. Those who bring trouble on their families inherit the wind. The fool will be a servant to the wise. The seeds of good deeds become a tree of life. A wise person wins friends. If the righteous are rewarded here on earth, what will happen to wicked sinners? That is a powerful chapter. As we roll on it, as a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman which is without discretion. There you go. I didn't remember it. Maybe I remembered the New King James Version. Maybe I just don't remember anything anymore now that I've turned 35 and my time is up. This is a really interesting one, Proverbs 12. A trap of religious people is that God is only interested in religious things. Oh, yeah. Have you still got it, Parker and Adrian? Was it Luke 16:10? Go on then. Can we have it? Or is it gone now because of the other one? Man, I'm sorry, Ricky B. Anyway, the trap of religious people, I think this book argues this, is that God is only interested in religious things. But Proverbs annihilates that. It's like, lay aside the robes a minute and respectability. You can have that and be the most unpleasant people that the world has ever met. That's what basically Jesus said to the Pharisees. And Proverbs 12 is going to show, like, nah, it's about bigger stuff than that, being godly. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much, and whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. Yeah, that was Proverbs 11. Forget the pomp and ceremony. Just be Jesus-centered people in day-to-day life, with your money, with your friends, with your whatever. Pets. Pets is coming up now, isn't it? Proverbs 12. Let's go. A.W. Tozer said, he was a preacher in Chicago in the 1950s, when the head of the house is converted, even the dog knows, or even the cat knows. To learn, you must love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction. The Lord approves of those who are good, but he condemns those who plan wickedness. Wickedness never brings stability, but the godly have deep roots. Jesus give roots. A worthy wife is a crown for her husband, but a disgraceful woman is like cancer in his bones. The plans of the godly are just, the advice of the wicked is treacherous. The words of the wicked are like a murderous ambush, but the words of the godly save lives. The wicked die and disappear, but the family of the godly stands firm. A sensible person wins admiration, but a warped mind is despised. Better to be an ordinary person with a servant than to be a self-important, but with no food. The godly care for their animals, but the wicked are always cruel. The godly care for their animals. Where's Evie? Rita, where's Evie? Bring her in here. Bring her in here and we'll put her right there with a crown on her head. No, because you can overdo it and idolize your animals too, which is equally probably as bad. If you're beating your animals in Bible hour, you need to stop. That's not the behavior of a Christian. Enjoy them, treasure them, thank God for them. Walk them. Feed them. Funny story, I knew a guy once who went visiting one of his parishioners, and when he was in the house, the parrot swore. It is a parrot that copies what you say, isn't it? That's funny. Timmy loves Kenny. He knows honesty when he sees it, and he really misses him. He keeps pulling me towards the church to go and see Kenny. No way. Miriam Freeman, she loves cats and dogs by the look of that post. A hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies has no sense. Thieves are jealous of each other's loot, but the godly are well-rooted and bear their own fruit. The wicked are trapped by their own words, but the godly escape such trouble. Wise words bring many benefits, and hard work brings rewards. Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others. A fool is quick-tempered, but a wise person stays calm when insulted. An honest witness tells the truth, a false witness tells lies. Some people make cutting remarks, but the words of the wise bring healing. You who are spiritual, reprove, rebuke, gently restore. The wrath of God doth not work through the righteousness of God doth not work through the wrath of man. Or whatever order it is, the wrath of man does not work the righteousness of God. Truthful words stand the test of time, but lies are soon exposed. Deceit fills hearts that are plotting evil. Joy fills the heart that are planning peace. Hearts. No harm comes to the godly, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in those who tell the truth. The wise don't make a show of their knowledge, but fools broadcast their foolishness. Work hard and become a leader. Be lazy and become a slave. Worry weighs a person down. An encouraging word cheers a person up. The godly give good advice to their friends. The wicked lead them astray. Lazy people don't even cook the game they catch, but the diligent make use of everything they find. The way of the godly leads to life. That path does not lead to death. Proverbs 13. Powerful stuff there that we just read. Searching. I mean, this is day-to-day living for Jesus, not ceremony and pomp. A wise child accepts a parent's discipline. A mocker refuses to listen to correction. So as godly people, we are too, when I say godly, I mean those who know Jesus and are repenting from sin and following after in him. They do correct people. And a mocker refuses to listen. Wise words will win you a good meal, but treacherous people have an appetite for violence. Those who control their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything. If you want to know about long lives, dig up this stream from 2 days ago, possibly 1 day ago, I can't remember. Lazy people want much but get little, but those who work hard will prosper. The godly hate lies. The wicked cause shame and disgrace. Godliness guards the path of the blameless, but the evil are misled by sin. I'll be honest, I'm getting convicted rereading Proverbs 13. And at this point, with conviction, we're to confess our sins to Jesus, the head of the church, whose blood cleanseth the vilest of stains, the foulest of stains, cleanses the vilest of sinners. And he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us of all unrighteousness. Glory to Jesus. Godliness guards the path of the blameless, but the evil are misled by sin. Some who are poor pretend to be rich. Others who are rich pretend to be poor. The rich can pay a ransom for their lives, but the poor won't even get threatened. The life of the godly is full of light and joy, but the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. Pride leads to conflict. Those who take advice are wise. Wealth from get-rich-quick schemes quickly disappears. Wealth from hard work grows over time. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life. People who despise advice are asking for trouble. Those who respect a command will succeed. The instruction of the wise is like a life-giving fountain. Those who accept it avoid the snares of death. A person with good sense is respected. A treacherous person is headed for destruction. Wise people think before they act. Fools don't, and even brag about their foolishness. An unreliable messenger stumbles into trouble, but a reliable messenger brings healing. If you ignore criticism, you will end in poverty and disgrace. If you accept correction, you will be honored. Taking correction is a sign of being Jesus-centered often. Unless, like Job, the person correcting you is accusing you stuff you haven't done. It is pleasant to see dreams come true, but fools refuse to turn from evil to attain them. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. If you're one of those Christians that's like, no, I don't need church or church people around me, I will reread this one, and then you can get correct Christianity. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. Trouble chases sinners while blessings reward the righteous. Good people leave an inheritance to their grandchildren, but the sinner's wealth passes to the godly. And remember the life of Jesus. Like, he suffered. He was the man of sorrows, but he still had blessings upon blessings. And look at him now. The poor person's farm may produce much food, but injustice sweeps it all away. Those who spare the rod of discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them. The godly eat to their heart's content, but the belly of the wicked goes hungry. I will now take 11 minutes. No, let's do like 11 hours to talk about sparing the rod and saving the child. And the recent laws passed about the smacking ban. I'm joking, I'm not going to go there. But I have lost my chapter. Oh, got it. 14. Ladies and gentlemen, take 30 seconds. We're on to the final straight as we hit Proverbs. Chapter 14. I'm just going to read verse 9 and 14 again from the last chapter. Look how Jesus... Oh, wait, I've gone the wrong way. I've gone the wrong way again. I think I'm on Proverbs 14. Forget it. I'm lost. I'm just going to start Proverbs 14 in 10 seconds. A wise woman builds her home, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. Those who follow the right path fear the Lord. Those who take the wrong path despise him. There are people today that actually think the Bible isn't a relevant text for 2020. That is unbelievable. A fool's proud talk becomes a rod that beats him, but the words of the wise keep them safe. Without oxen, a stable stays clean, but you need a strong ox for a large harvest. An honest witness does not lie. A false witness breathes lies. A mocker seeks wisdom and never finds it, but knowledge comes easily to those with understanding. Stay away from fools, for you won't find knowledge on their lips. The prudent understand where they are going, but fools deceive themselves. Fools make fun of guilt, but the godly acknowledge it and seek reconciliation. Each heart knows its own bitterness, and no one else can fully share its joy. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the godly will flourish. Where's my tabernacle? It's over there. I won't get it. There is a path before each person that seems right, but it ends in death. Laughter can conceal a heavy heart, but when the laughter ends, the grief remains. Backsliders get what they deserve. Good people receive their reward. Only simpletons believe everything they're told. The prudent carefully consider their steps. The wise are cautious and avoid danger. Fools plunge ahead with reckless confidence. Short-tempered people do foolish things, and schemers are hated. Simpletons are clothed with foolishness, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. Evil people will bow before good people. The wicked will bow at the gates of the godly. The poor are despised even by their neighbors, while the rich may have many friends. It is a sin to belittle one's neighbor. Blessed are those who help the poor. If you plan to do evil, you will be lost. If you plan to do good, you will receive unfailing love and faithfulness. Work brings profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. Wealth is a crown for the wise. The effort of fools yields only foolishness. A truthful witness saves lives, but a false witness is a traitor. Those who fear the Lord are secure. He will be a refuge for their children. Fear of the Lord, is a life-giving fountain. It offers escape from the snares of death. A growing population is a king's glory. A prince without subjects has nothing. People with understanding control their anger. A hot temper shows great foolishness. A peaceful heart leads to a healthy body. Jealousy is like cancer in the bones. Those who oppress the poor insult their maker, but helping the poor honors him. The wicked are crushed by disaster, but the godly have refuge when they die. Wisdom is enshrined in an understanding heart. Wisdom is not found among fools. Obviously, we know that now. Godliness makes a nation great. There you go, MacDonald. But sin is a disgrace to any people. A king rejoices in wise servants, but is angry with those who disgrace him. Just want to say 2 verses there. Remember, this is not a self-help book. Verse 27. Fear of the Lord is a life-giving fountain. It offers escape from the snares of death. We are dealing here with signs of life and entering further into life. And this is an interesting one to anyone who thinks that just having faith is somewhat of a credit, like just believing in something. Verse 15, only simpletons believe everything they're told. The prudent carefully consider their steps. So you can have faith, but you can have faith in something not good, unproductive, fruitless, godless, Jesusless. So faith isn't the answer. Faith is trusting in something or someone. You can even have faith in yourselves if you venture to be that crazy. Ancient church is called to have faith in wisdom, in her, in Jesus. 2157. Ladies and gentlemen, Proverbs 15 is a biggie. It's 2158. The Bible hour comes to a grinding, crashing halt on that note that the ancient church has faith in Jesus. And we made it to what chapter was it? 15. Proverbs 15. God willing, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back here tomorrow. And we will carry on this insight to the heart of Jesus and the heart of church who have wisdom. God willing, on Sunday, we'll be venturing into Elijah. Ciao for now.